Assalamu alaikum. Greeting to all. This is the third video. We are talking about how the terrorist state of Israel has no right to defend itself. Unlike what the stupid Zionists in the West, especially the US, claim that Israel has the right to defend itself, this is stupidity beyond all the red lines and the limits. No terrorist has the right to defend himself or itself. Like ISIS. Does ISIS have the right to defend themselves? No, they don't. They are terrorists. Stupid terrorists. How about Al Qaeda? How about all the rest of the terrorists? How about the American government and the American army? All the terrorists have no right to defend themselves. So this leads us to say clearly enough that the stupid state of Israel, the terrorist state of Israel, has no right to defend itself. The stupid terrorist state of Israel based its lies for invading and occupying Palestine using non-biblical lies, promises, fiction promises, mythological promises, invented stupidity on their part. They don't have promises from God to invade Palestine after 2,000 years, to kill the Palestinians and rape their land, and do all this destruction for the last 72 years today. Now, to understand this and to explain this to the stupid Zionists, especially at the USA, those stupid slaves to the terrorist state of Israel, and those stupid who come to the White House supporting Israel, like this idiot, this stupid, rotten individual who said that God spoke to him. Imagine, God spoke to him, this stupid individual, and told him to protect Israel. Really? Seriously? What kind of a stupid God he speaks about? For the rest of the stupid Zionists and the Israelis in the terrorist state of Israel, we bring the teaching of the book. What happened exactly? What is the story? Where is the truth in all of this? If you go to the book called Deuteronomy, claimed to be one of the 5 books of Moses in the Old Testament of the Christian or the Jewish Tanakh, and go to chapter 28, and start reading. God made a promise that has 2 parts. 2-part promise. It's not a train on a railroad, straightforward, no turning. 2-part promise. The first part, God was very clear. You can go and read it for yourself. Deuteronomy 28. Start with the promises God made for the Israeli Jews if they behave. God promised He will make them leaders to the whole world. Today, those stupid terrorists are leaders of the USA only, in control of the cabinet, the Senate. So they are not leaders of the world. They are hated by the world through their history, miserable history. Very well, let's see. So, like I said, chapter 28 starts by giving wonderful, wonderful promises to the Israeli Jews. How God will bless them endlessly, with endless blessings, provided that they adhere to the words of Moses on behalf of his Lord. God said through Moses, if you behave you obey, you adhere to the commandments I'm giving you right now, you'll be the leaders of the world. So let's finish with this. This is the first part of the promise. Now we are left with the second part of the promise that God says, starting with, to be exact, to help you out to find it, because those stupid Zionists don't know where to look. Verse 15, 28:15. It said the punishment for those who do not listen, who do not adhere, who do not follow, who do not obey. The punishment. Amazing enough, those stupid Zionists in the West, they do not read. And they are stupid preachers. They preach false information. And they skip over this part always. And other parts. Through the Old Testament, God never stopped threatening. I'm going to annihilate you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to destroy you if you keep offending me to my face. The stupid Zionist preachers and their followers only listen to, I'm going to bless you and bless those who bless you. And this does not apply to Israel. It applies only to Abraham. But the stupid preachers don't understand this. They have zero knowledge of the content of the book. They don't understand it. So starting verse 15, you notice the worst, the most horrific, horrible curses will pour on top of the stupid Israeli heads if they don't listen and they don't acknowledge the orders of their God. The worst curses. The rest of the chapter 28 from verse 15 to the end, I'll curse you, I'll curse you, I'll curse you, I curse you. And he did. They deserved all the curses because they did not listen. They never listened. Today, look at the Israelis worldwide. Only 20% acknowledge that God exists. 80% of the Israelis are absolute atheists, saying God does not exist. So, from verse 15 to the end of chapter 28 in the book of Deuteronomy, list a number of curses that if you read carefully, you would be struck with such fear in your heart. You are not meant by those curses. The Israelis are under those curses from the Lord, from God. You are not under those curses, yet you feel so scared, frightened. It's incredible how many curses will come on this stupid nation if they don't listen, and they never listen. Now, if you go to the end, toward the end of chapter 28, before you reach chapter 29, and specifically, to be specific, chapter 28, 64, verse 64, 28, 64, you will understand why the Israeli Jews were scattered all over the world for the last almost 2,000 years in time, before the stupid West, the rotten West, especially the USA and England, restored them to Palestine with non-biblical lies that God is bringing them. No, God is not bringing them. We spoke about this. No prophets, no messengers accompanying them back, neither from Babylon, nor from today, from all over the world. Like what happened when they left Egypt in the company of 3 prophets. Great Moses, his brother Aaron, and Joshua. So if you reach 28:64, God ends all the threats of cursing them, cursing, endless curses, very horrific curses. Even the sand, the dust that they walk on will be cursed. Their offspring will be cursed, and they are until today. God ends in 64 and he says, and I'm gonna spread you in all the nations of the world, from one corner to the other, from the east to the west, north to the south. I'm gonna scatter you. You will never find rest. So this is very clear. The question is, the stupid Zionists say that God gave him a promised land forever. We said 1,000 years in Egypt doesn't include forever. 100 years between Babylon and Persia, no forever. And then 2,000 years out of Palestine, the Holy Land of Palestine, until recent days. 2,000 years does not mean forever. Those stupid Zionists and the stupid preachers don't understand what the word forever means. Forever means they never should left, or being plucked out. They didn't leave, they were plucked out, once by Babylon and the second time by Christian Rome. So now they came against the wish and the will of the Lord Almighty, and this time He'll pluck them out, but different than any other time. They will be destroyed, utterly destroyed, never to think again to offend the Lord. Very remnant from them will remain, will be left behind, and they will follow Jesus on his return. Very well, so please go and read stupid Zionists and your stupid preachers. I ask you to go to read Deuteronomy chapter 28, start with verse 15, with the curses, and ending in 64, where God said and promised, and He did, and He fulfilled, to scatter them from one corner of the world to the other corner. That's why we ask the stupid Zionists and their stupid preachers in the West, especially the USA, why God, who promised them the forever to stay in the land, put them all over the world for 2,000 years. Why? Why? Ignorant Zionists, rotten slaves to the Israeli Jews and the terrorist state of Israel. So like we said, the promise was, part number 1, obey, follow His commandments, adhere to His words, spoken by Moses at the time, and you will be blessed endlessly. They offended God, worshipping idols, doing all the rotten things, all the porn, all the miserable production of Hollywood is done by the Israeli Jews today in the USA. All the filth in the world spread and started with those Israeli nation. But if you don't listen and you don't adhere, I'm going to put you all over the world. But there is one more thing that came 1,400 or 2,000 years or 3,000 years after those words in the Quran of the Muslims. God said, you keep offending me, you want to keep coming back to the land that I plucked you out of? Okay, this time I'm going to bring you by force. Those in the USA living comfortable life, they will be forced to leave the USA. They will be forced, the remnant in Europe, they will be forced to leave Europe. They will be forced to leave Austria, Australia, and the rest of the world. They will be forced this time. God will bring them by force for their complete annihilation, destruction this time, in 4 more years. 4 more years. This is how long this terrorist state of Israel will stay. After 4 years, the world will be talking about the world after the terrorist state of Israel. No more under the stupidity that nobody judges, nobody condemns, nobody passes rules against the stupid terrorist state of Israel because of the stupidity of the White House in Washington today. One more time. The terrorist state of Israel has no right to defend itself. Because they had no right to come back to Palestine, the Holy Land of Palestine. There are no promises from God. The promises were about Egypt and the land of the north, Babylon, long time history back. Not history today. Today they came with the help of the stupid England stupidity and the USA. And those will receive punishment for doing this. Believe me, God, avenges himself. He is an avenging God according to the New Testament. He knows how to retaliate. And England and the USA will find the wrath of God soon enough, before the destruction of the terrorist state of Israel. England will be crippled, and most likely Europe as well, for supporting, and the USA. The disasters, the crippling to those countries will be horrific. Today we are at the USA because we are cursed, because we help the Israeli Jews and the terrorist state of Israel in our media, stupid media, lying media, radio, TV, news station, etc., magazines. We lie, stupid lies, making the terrorist state of Israel not to be blamed. Always the Arabs, the Palestinians are to be blamed. Those who raped their land and destroyed their countries, their crops, their homes, killed their children, they are to be blamed. Well, what do you expect from a country that started by killing the Red Indians to colonize and occupy the land? So this is natural for those criminals who came from Europe way past 500 years back. They were criminals, exiled to this land that is called today USA. We started with criminals here. So what do you expect from criminals? Not to reinvent the wheel with the terrorist state of Israel, saying the Israelis have the right and the Palestinians, they don't. Natural, of course. This is our ancestors are criminals, the rotten, the worst among humanity. Stupid Europe sent its filth to the USA, what is called USA today, to South America, and to Australia. And they did exactly the same. What they did to the Red Indians in this land here, they did the same with the local occupants, like the Red Indians of the USA, and the blacks at South Africa. The stupid state of Israel has no right to defend itself. We have biblical proof of this, and next time we will show how this state is a terrorist state. And those stupid Zionists at the USA, they lie in their media, promoting lies about how Israel is a democracy and the Palestinians are the terrorists. They have the picture inverted because they are stupid. And every stupid who takes over the White House, he repeats the same stupidity over and over and over. We are getting sick and tired that everyone who takes over the White House never depart the stupidity and leave it behind. But it's okay. The end of the term of this ignorant president today, you know, at the end of his dark days, we'll find so many changes in this regard, especially toward the terrorist state of Israel. The whole world will discover what kind of a stupid terrorist state this Israel is. Till next time, take care.